Hello, welcome back to Seawolf's Den. I'm crafting Ron. This craft I started working on before I had a camera set up, and I decided to just take pictures of some of the basic stuff I was doing in the beginning. It's a robot that was in a toy bin. I think it was at my mother's house, and all the grandchildren have grown past these type of toys, so she was going to throw it away, and of course I'm going to grab it for crafting, of course. It used to walk and used to make noise and move its arms and all this other cool stuff, and I don't think it really ever worked. She probably got it in a garage sale. So I sought out to, well, first of all, I wanted to use it in craft. Just use it as some kind of adversary the characters are going to fight off or fight against. A superhero type adventure or a sci-fi, one or the other. It's big, it's 7 inches tall, so it'd probably be pretty large, and I'm just going to put it on a base and stuff like that. So that was my plan, but first I wanted to take it apart and see what was inside and take out what I didn't need. And that big old engine was in the middle of its chest. This is where I considered putting a pilot in, since the chest cavity contained the engine, and I could also cut away the battery pack compartment. I really considered it, but I didn't see a way of actually seeing the pilot or displaying the pilot in when it was all finished. So I had to, first of all, take all that apart. Everything came apart pretty easy, lots of screws, but the engine acted as the hip bone for the robot, so I had to come up with a substitute for that. So I used a wooden dowel to poke through, and I glued that in, and it works fine. Still got some bending parts to it, but I love the detail on the robot itself. I think that once you add more 40K type of detail, it kind of just, it will look really good. It'll pair up pretty good and not look weird. So here I am taking the legs off the engine, showing you where it literally is just attached to it. There's nothing else. Once I got it apart, engine out, I went ahead and started looking for 40K parts to add to it. Working on a few things, again, just pulling stuff out and getting inspired by some of the groups I'm in. I'll list some Facebook groups that I'm in that are just absolutely outstanding and have just totally inspired me to dig into some other stuff that I've had. This being a robot, and I've already torn it apart. I took out the actuators, which are right here. I took out the engine. I took all of that out because it was unnecessary. I love the robot. It's pretty big. It's huge. It still has some unnecessary stuff in the arms. I'm not going to worry about it. It's got a cannon on one hand and a fist on the other. It looks like it probably held a sword of some kind. I'm not going to worry about that. I am planning on doing some 40K modification to it to make this look more for a tabletop, and it will stand pretty tall. The chest piece I took out, that's where all the engine motor parts were. And there's still some wires in there that I probably should just go ahead and take out. And then there was a light in the head that didn't work either. That's the front, kind of an Iron Man looking thing. The head is, here, I took it apart because it had the light. Thing is, with the head, I mean, it's okay, but I have all these 40K masks or helmet visors that I could put on there. And that's a bit much, so I could just Dremel off part of it and let this sit on it if I wanted to. And I might. But that's one of those things that once you do it, you've committed. So I might do that to the head. The legs were married to this motor pretty tightly, so I'm going to have to rebuild how this, and I have some wood sticks that might be able to fit through there to support it, but we'll see. But I have all these parts, these armor parts that I could slap on. Got more in here that I'm looking at that are, I mean, look at that. That alone. I've also got a thought of another Star Wars toy that I've got laying around. It's General Grievous, but I kind of like some of his armatures. I've been trying to get those to come off. The arms might work for me. to decide on what to do with this head. There's a lot to it. Get rid of most of that, but I can't get rid of, like, the screw post is right there. And if I get rid of, I may not do that mask because it's just too much to get rid of. So we won't. I mean, it's not a bad head to begin with. I may. All right, there's the start of it. I left that open, but I'm going to probably put something like that next to it, give it an even further Iron Man look. But that was the button that got it started. I'm thinking about modifying the arm, but that's the start of, and I'll base him out. I have a base that's probably large enough for him. But I wanted to see where I could modify him as best as possible. The helmet's likely not going to happen, but I can probably do a few things like this one. Couple things, who knows? Codpiece? How about that? And there may be places I'll Dremel down that aren't so essential. There's too many screw posts holding this head together to Dremel that down. A couple things that might look good on the knees. Do I have two of those? Yep, I do. So I can Dremel down the knees a little bit and put some stuff on there to kind of give it a more RPG tabletop look. We'll see. I don't know. Playing around with some bits and see where we can go. But until next time. All right, we're back with the robot rebuild, and I found lots of little pieces to put on him. I think it looks pretty good. I like him. I love this part of it. I found some 40K pieces to kind of dress him up. Got a shoulder cannon. I also spruced up his own cannon to kind of give it more of a look. Now this guy, I drilled a hole in his upper arm because I've had this, I don't know where it came from. I honestly don't. It was probably some Transformer toy that either my kid was throwing away or I found, and it's kind of it's been sitting in one of my drawers for a while, but I've been wanting to use it. It's kind of like a chainsaw sword that pops out. Again, kind of 40K sounding, and then when it folds in, it's also a cannon. Pew pew. Well, it's got a little nub on there, and I put him on his wrist. It fits perfect. Like, look at that. So never throw away like little bits and toys like that. That's comes in handy quite a bit. So I am kind of struggling with what I'm going to paint him or what colors. I'm going to probably look up some 40K type robot like things. Got to find something to base him on, kind of measure. Pretty big dude, wouldn't you say? I'm going to go ahead and prime him and then come back and see what kind of colors I'm going to do. Again, I'm not a very good color guy. And no, I won't do him army. But I'm tempted to do it black and red. I mean, it's just screaming to me like black and red, but do something else. Blue, dark blue and something. So, and I am going to put a base on him. I think I've got one more large base, or I could do this. For those that don't know these things, this is a CD. Just use a CD or DVD. Put it down there. I may have to reinforce it with another one or something else, maybe a can top. But it kind of works, doesn't it? Man, imagine placing that on the table. Anyway, okay, there's your robot. Until next time. All right, we're back with the robot. It was a quick and easy build. You know, just found the right pieces, the right 40K pieces to give it kind of a tabletop look. Then I kind of did a search on 40K walkers and mecha, and I said, you know, I wanted to see some painted ones, and I came up with a blue and gold look to it, so I painted that, and I'm pretty happy with the overall look to it. Chainsaw piece came out real good. I painted that up a little bit. And the other thing I added was I had some of these extra pieces. Now, these are this one piece right here is from the Rodan playset. I changed Rodan into a couple of dragons in another video, but these were like buildings that it was blowing over with its arms, and there's several in each box. I took one of the smaller pieces that could fit on the base of this and turned it into just rubble with the help of two. These are dollar store Jenga pieces that I cut in thirds and made them blocks, and then threw some aquarium rocks to make it look like rubble. So no, I'm not trying to scale this up to a Rodan but it still looks like rubble regardless. I thought about putting a soldier there to kind of give it a scale, kind of shooting over the rubble, but nah, I thought that was too much. Anyway, this is kind of a huge, or maybe even gargantuan size. Base came out good. It's a CD, and I used the wood on top of it to kind of reinforce it. It's the kind of wood that they use in cabinets. I've said this before. You know, whenever I throw away cabinets or old furniture that I don't need in the house, I sometimes convert it to something I could use in the garage. And sometimes pieces are left over, like the backing to a cabinet, you know, or the bottom piece to a drawer. And that kind of wood is perfect for, and it's like a plywood. It's like a particle board that I cut up and glue to a CD to give it a good solid. Because one or the other is not enough, but together they're a pretty good base. So I'm going to consider this piece good and good to go, and it's finished. So until next time, seek the wolf in thyself.